Hey guys, this video is going to be an assault guide. The assault is kind of the jack of all trades class. It's made for everything. It has short range, long range, grenades, and support abilities. Everything you need to dominate. It's a super fun class to play. Its grenades and vanguard make for a really aggressive playstyle. Of course, in order to play the class to the full potential, you need to know everything about the class. So, I'm going to be going over the weapons, abilities, star cards, and tips that will help you destroy with the assault. So getting into the weapons, out of all four classes, the assault has to have the most depth with all their blasters. All of them are good, and they have good short range and long range ones. So the first weapon is the default blaster / E11D. Both blasters are the same blaster. It's probably the best default blaster in the game. It's an actually decent blaster up close, but it doesn't have a lot of range and it has a pretty big recoil. So once you get to like mid-range and after that, it's a really not very useful blaster. So it's good for a decent amount of situations, and so overall it's not a bad blaster, but it's just not as good as any of the others, so overall it's just never really useful and never a blaster I would use. The second blaster is the A280. This is the best all-around blaster for the class and one of the best blasters in Battlefront 2. It's great at all ranges. It destroys at close range, it's perfect for mid-range, and at long range you can even do some damage. The burst makes it easy to hit targets, as you can adjust your aim mid-shot, and you can still do a lot of damage without hitting every shot, so that makes hitting every shot super powerful, and you can drain people's health when you're hitting all your shots. The third blaster is the CR2. This is the best close-up blaster for the assault. It shreds, and it's one of the best close-up blasters in general in the game. It has a big drop-off, so it's only really useful when you have really close-up maps, like the Death Star and just other close-quarters maps, where you're going to be really close to people all the time. The fourth blaster is the EL-16 HFE. This is a slow-firing blaster with a very long range. On wide-open maps like Hoth and Crate, this is your best bet. This is the weapon that will hit people across those long distances and still do a lot of damage. It's super satisfying to hit headshots with this weapon, but it's a very difficult blaster to aim with. So, because it's difficult to aim with and it has a slow firing rate, I avoid using this weapon at close range. It just really isn't as good as the others unless you're hitting all headshots. All blasters are really good, but my two favorites are the A280 and the EL-16 HFE, and which one I use usually just comes down to how my aim feels that day. But then again, the CR2 can be great in the right situation, so don't shy away from using that blaster at all. So moving into the next section of this video is the abilities. You can't survive and dominate with just a blaster. And the assault has multiple great abilities that you should always be using. The default left ability is the thermal grenade. It's pretty much a high damage grenade. It is great for clearing out objectives and hallways, and just in general when you're trying to move up on a place, it'll clear people out really well. It's especially great in close quarters where people have little room to escape and they group up a lot. The middle ability is the vanguard. This ability is great up close and part of the reason the assault gets stamped as the most aggressive class. This shotgun is very powerful and does a ton of damage up close. It also gives you extra speed, which is great for running around the map fast, and you can get up close to people and shoot them before they can react. The right ability is the scan dart. This shoots out a scanner that will reveal enemies to you. I'm not a huge fan of this ability and I pretty much never use it. Other scanners are great and extremely useful, but this just isn't one of them. It doesn't do as good of a job revealing enemies, and you have to shoot it first into a specific spot in order for it to work. Now, getting into the star cards and loadouts that will make your abilities better. My personal loadout is the improved thermal detonator, toughen up, and bounty hunter. This loadout is not fully an aggressive playstyle, it's kind of a mix. It has toughen up, which is the perfect card for being aggressive, because you can constantly recharge your health, so as soon as you take damage, you immediately get that health back, and you can go on the attack a lot without having to wait back and regen your health. I also have Bounty Hunter, which is great for getting extra battle points, but if I don't care about battle points, Then I will switch to Assault Training, which gives you health on kill, and similar to Toughen Up, is great for being aggressive, because when you get kills, your health regenerates, and you're able to go on to the next player and kill him. Most of the Assault's boost cards are decent, so you can use any of those, but the two best ones, in my opinion, are Bounty Hunter and Assault Training. And then for my left ability, I switch up my left ability to the Ion Grenade a lot, and what I'm using just depends on the map. So, close quarters, it usually goes to the improved Thermal Detonator. If a bit more open map and it's not as easy to hit people with the grenade, then I'll switch to the Ion Grenade, which you just throw at someone and it'll do quick damage. If you don't care about a little bit of extra power to the grenade and you like to use Vanguard a lot, then I recommend Killstreak Vanguard, because this just helps your Vanguard out a lot, as it will last a lot longer when you start getting kills. As far as the other Assault abilities, I don't really think any of the others are really worth using. They just aren't very powerful, and they won't help you out a lot. Now, the loadouts put on the screen right now are the ones I recommend using. So I've gone over all the weapons, abilities, and star cards for the Assault. So now, just to end off the video, I'm going to go over some general tips to help you play the Assault better. These tips are mainly stuff you should already know, but they're really important and stuff you need to keep in mind while playing the Assault. So my first tip is to use your abilities as much as possible. You can get a lot of points and kills with grenades, and also go on quick kill streaks with the Vanguard. So use these abilities whenever you can, and it will make you way more of a threat. My second tip is to use every weapon. Don't just rely on one weapon for every single match you have. As I mentioned earlier when I was talking about the weapons, each one is good for different situations. So being comfortable with each weapon will help you out a lot. The third and final tip is that this is not a class you should just dig into a spot for a little while. Take advantage of the blasters and abilities of this class that allow it to be really aggressive. So that's all for the Assault guide. Hopefully this helps you destroy with the Assault and you learn something from this. If you did learn something from this video, then leave a like down below and subscribe for more tips and discussions that go into Star Wars and Battlefront 2. I'll see you next time. Bye.